Hello YouTube, Sam here from youtube.com/onlivegamer for the new Boston, and in this tutorial we're going to learn about saving files with the Save File dialog. So let's go ahead and create a new project, and we will call it Save Files. Now, just like the Open File dialog, Save File dialogs are built into Visual Basic, and they're very easy to use, and they keep you focused on what your application is doing, and instead of having to work on coding the dialogues yourself. So let's go ahead and come over here to our toolbox. We will add a text box. We'll make it multi-line. We'll make it a little bit bigger. And let's add a button called Save. So we'll just type Save File. We'll set the name to Button Save. Now what we need to do is come over here to our toolbox and double click on Save File Dialog. Now this will create an object of Save File Dialog that we can use in our program. So let's go ahead and double click on Save File to open up the event handler for that. Now what you guys also need to know is that you don't have to come into your Form 1 designer to add Save File Dialogs. You can also create instances of them just like object. So dim my file to save as new Save File Dialog. So you can create objects with them inside of your code. So that's just another way of doing it, and this is what the designer does for you. When you add stuff to the toolbox, it just makes objects of it in your code, but it's saved in a different file. So let's go ahead and delete this here. So what we want to do is let's use a simple if statement. So if textbox1 dot text dot length is greater than 0, then we'll go ahead and show the dialog, because we can't write nothing to a file. So we'll type save file dialog 1 dot show dialog, and now what we want to do is we want to save the file to whatever they named it. So we'll just type system.io.file.write all text, and for our path we're just going to use the path that they gave us from Save File Dialog 1. So Save File Dialog 1 dot file name. So this gets the path and the file name after that, and the contents of it is going to be textbox1 dot text. So you can see that right here I use system.io.file.write all text. Now this can be used for anything you want. What we usually do is we import it, but sometimes you don't want to import it. You can just use the long version of it and it will still work exactly the same way. So let's go ahead and run this and see what kind of results we get. So let's go ahead and write coding in Visual Basic is fun. So when we click Save File, it opens up this Save File dialog. The default title is Save As. So let's go ahead and go to the desktop, and we will save it as corn.txt. Now you can also set filters so that they can only save it as certain data types, and we'll be going over that in later tutorials. So it's going to be saved as corn.txt. We'll go ahead and click save, and you can see here, well, you can't see it, but I have a file on my desktop. Let me just drag it in right there so you can see it, and let's go ahead and open that, and you can see that it says coding in Visual Basic is fun. So what we did is we just created a save file dialog, and if they have actually typed something in here, then it's going to go ahead and show that dialog, and it's going to write all the text of that into the file that they specified, and use the text from textbox1. So go ahead and practice a little bit with save file dialogs. You can also change the attributes of them just like you could with the open file dialogs, and then once you've got those down, go ahead and move on to the next tutorial.